with Harvard and Columbia and all these other, you go there and then you get access to the network, right? You get access to the alumni network and all that. You could use that for your first job and, raising money later or whatever. Like, yeah, that's part of it. So yes, yes, Tony, you have to pay for that access and that exclusivity and the brand and the reputation.
Dave, you mentioned, and Jimmy asked the question, how much should physical therapy cost, right?
Yeah.
So
and you posted it.
Well, first, Jimmy, where were you going with that thought? Why were you asking that question?
So I've been playing around with cross-posting on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and seeing different audiences are there for different reasons and respond differently. So I asked the same question 2 ways. One was, how much does a session of how much does a plan of care cost? How much should it cost? And then how much was your PT school education and how much should it have cost? And of course, we want to get the most education or the license for the least amount of money. And we want to get paid the most for the least amount of work. And that is shockingly consistent. And I just wanted to show people the educators who brought you the education are thinking the same way about getting paid there, right? And then you're thinking, and the patient is thinking the same way about their experience with you. I don't know if it was you or somebody else who had asked, how much should a logo cost? And that's what that was you. That sort of just spurred, we all want to pay the least for the most. Why don't we just say that out? But remember, we all come back to the 3-legged stool. You could have it good, fast, or cheap, right?
Yes.
The problem with AI is if you're willing to take the time to prompt it, could you have all three? And that's like the magical trifecta. So,
not for a service-based business. No,
not for service. Not yet. Not until the robots start walking around. Not until the T2000 start walking around. But no, you're right. You're paying for the experience. But education and healthcare right now are both experiences.
Yeah. So anyway, I asked on my consumer-facing Facebook page, and as is typically the case, this drives me crazy. I can't even get an answer to the question because nobody reads the question.
Right.
The few people who read it can't comprehend the question. So every response that I got, my specific question was, how much should physical therapy cost? I should have just stopped there.
Right.
And then I said,
less is more.
Insurance didn't cover it. How much would you say physical therapy should cost per treatment session?
Right.
I thought that was basic. I thought that was easy to understand. Every single response was, well, my insurance did this and my copay was this and my co-insurance was that. I couldn't get a reasonable response from anybody who responded.
Right. But anyway, I screenshotted that and I thought there were a bunch of numbers. I know some people gave
our numbers. Like one person said it would cost about $500 a session if they didn't have insurance. Another person said $95 per session twice a week. She was paying $650 a month. But I think that was a copay. This person said $600 to $900 per session if she did not have insurance in Ohio. So there were some numbers, $80.
Someone said $175.
Anything. A couple of people said $300 to $400. One person said $393 an hour.
And very specific number.
Very. $70, $30, $150. So, we got the lowest was $50 in Alabama.
Which that type of person, in my opinion, probably equates it to the copay that they're already paying, or maybe they're paying a $30 copay and they're like, well, if the copay was like $50, I would still go, but it doesn't necessarily answer your question. I screenshotted it and I sent it to you guys in the chat because I think it was just a good, I don't know, like a post that would get a good pulse. And I think it seems like Tony's not satisfied with it, with the answers and everything, but I think I am. I think there's enough triangulation or like a spectrum of dollar amounts better than people are saying hundreds of dollars per visit across the country, right, Tony? As opposed to it could have been most people saying $20, $30, $40, $50 a visit. What if they were all like that? Then I would think I would be disheartened and I would come on here and I get all, upset and all that and emotional about it. But the fact that people are putting hundreds of dollars of figures per visit they're talking about, and they're commenting that. Yeah, that's not obviously not. That's not even including all the people that didn't comment, but all the people that did comment, I think we're triangulating somewhere in the range of like hundreds of dollars per visit, more so than the copay. So in my opinion, I think it was a good post, and I think the response triangulates to something that's like a good meaty cost per visit. If it were out of pocket in the scenario that if you didn't have insurance, how much do you think it would cost or should cost?
Yeah. No, to Jimmy's point real quick, I also went back and checked my FIU. How much did I pay for tuition? I want to say it was $5,000 a year for my master's program, 2.5 years, I think. Wow. So, I paid like $13,000.
Yeah.
That was 2005.
So the reason
not that long ago, though. Not that long ago.
The reason I started asking about school prices is there was a list that was just released, and it's a very easily sortable list and very easy Control A, Control C, Control V into AI of the price of every accredited physical therapy program in the United States. The question I have is, who will be the first $250,000 degree? Because we've got 5 that are like within hop, skip, and jump territory. So $250,000 DPT degree. So I started asking that, and I don't even know. Like, do you want to guess who you think that would be? Who do you think's at the top of the heap? 3 of them are I'll give you this. My internet's down, so I can't bring
3 are in New York? Are you about to say 3 are in New York?
3 are New York based.
Columbia's got to be one. Or NYU.
I don't have internet.
Come on, man. You say every day I bring the receipts. And now you have no receipts.
Oh, the best is this is I believe it's an APTA curated list, so I'll find it.
And NYU or Columbia it has to be.
Yes, I know it's NYU. I think it's Columbia.
It's got to be Columbia.
Nazareth College, Rochester is number 5.
Oh wow.
I can't remember who number 2 is, and the internet is killing me right now.
Are they? Can we just ask for a second? Are these universities just like they're just reaching in the sky and they're just like picking numbers out of the sky? Like, all right, we're going to bump up tuition this much, and we're going to bump up tuition this much.
Yeah, Tony.
Well, while Jimmy's looking, this is the thing. Like we've talked about this 1,000 times. There's no benefit to being almost the cheapest. Only one person can be the cheapest. Anybody can be the most expensive. And when you look at saying, okay, somebody is going to pay an absurd amount of money, what could I, as the university, do with that money? I could probably guarantee the best positions. I can guarantee connections to the best people. I can put you in, NFL teams and NBA teams. I can put you at hospitals. I can connect you with head of this department. Like, you pay me enough money, I've got unlimited resources that I could put there. And to the person who's going to pay $175,000, $250,000 is probably not that big of a jump. So why not just go to $500,000 and call it a day? Why don't we just pay to play, put you at the top of the pile, and see what happens?
That's true, because with Harvard and Columbia and all these other, you go there and then you get access to the network, right? You get access to the alumni network and all that. You could use that for your first job and, raising money later or whatever. That's part of it. So yes, Tony, you have to pay for that access and that exclusivity and the brand and the reputation. If you got into Columbia or Harvard or NYU or whatever, just that is you have some amount of status and, you could use that later in your career.
I heard this great line from a girl who was in Boston in the dating scene, and she's like, guys would try to use, I went to Harvard, I'm going to Harvard as a flex. And she's like, I have a really, really good deadpan response. And she's like, Harvard, is that a Harvard? Is that a good? And the guys would lose their minds. Like, what do you mean you don't know what it is? And it's just like, I'm from Oregon. I just haven't heard of it. Is it like Stanford? And these guys would lose. They would melt. It just would not. When I tell people where I went to school, unless they're from Western New York or a college basketball fan, they're like, I have no idea where it is. I'm like, cool, doesn't matter. I'm here right now. Where I went to school sort of isn't justified, but it is a thing for people. So I'm going to a coffee shop once we're done. I'll jump on LinkedIn. I'll share that link, which is publicly, I didn't create this data, but I was just very interested because now I'm not a data guy, but how great is it? I can just select all and then put it in GPT and be like, what's interesting here? Like, that's actually a really great prompt. What is interesting here? Are there any through lines? Are there any things that come up that are away, 2 standard deviations from the norm? And it was like, well, we're bordering on our first $250,000 PT degree. I think we can all, that's also why I asked, what did your degree cost? What do you think it should have cost? And of course, it cost X. People think it should be 1/25th of X. I have a thought experiment, and I don't know if we have enough time, but I think we might. For at least me to throw it out to get your brains working. So I have a garage. Dave's been to my house. I did not buy the house because of this garage. It is the
McKay Mansion.
The McKay warehouse, right? It is nothing fancy. It's a pole barn, as they would call it. It's an aluminum building, right? It's probably about 700, 800. Look, I'm really good. I'm very handy. I don't know how many. It's a lot of square feet. You could put like a lot of cars in it, right? I had a buddy fixing cars out of it, and he kicked me some cash, and it was that. I'm like, great. I don't know how to change an alternator, but I'm getting money from that. This was great. He doesn't use it anymore. It's got a 2-post lift. I'm going to clear the whole thing out of there. And I'm sort of looking at like a lot of these Instagram accounts, and I've got a little bit of envy. So I'm sort of like, what would you do with it? I've got a buddy who loves golf. He's like, oh, let's throw a simulator in there. Me and you, couple of Coronas all winter.
I got it.
Peter,
I got it. I already got it.
What should I do with this space? It could be multi-use. What would you do? Batting cage? Do a batting cage.
I would do a batting cage. You should not do a batting. So, this could also be in your house in the basement or whatever, but it could also be in that outdoor space, the outdoor garage. Do everything that Alex Ramosi is doing with the Las Vegas HQ, where he hosts people to come for a workshop. They pay him $3,000 to $5,000 per weekend or whatever, and he and his team kind of teach. Only do you, Jimmy. You love to travel. You love to go all over, but you could have people come to you.
Reverse it,
and you could have private practice owners come with their teams to do content and interviews, and you could set up a podcast studio.
It's not nice.
Okay.
I mean, I could make it nice, but like, who would come hang out with me for $3,000? I would have to pay $3,000 to hang out with me.
All right, well, that might be a self-limiting belief.
If you're gonna throw the thought experiment down, we need to come up with a course, and all 3 of us teach it at the warehouse.
We need to come up with
what I would do.
Or the warehouse.
We call it the warehouse because of the Dave Matthews song.
Oh, okay.
But because it's not a garage, it's like my buddy drooled over it. When we first met, he was my neighbor. We weren't friends, but he's like, hey, man, are you the guy with the giant garage? He's like, you love cars? I'm like, no, I can change a tire. I can change the oil. I kind of know what an alternator does. And he's like, I will pay you to use your garage. And then it had nothing. Now I sealed the floor. We brought the guys in with the guns and they spray foamed it. Now it can be nice and, humidity is not an issue. It's got a 2-post lift. I've never lifted a car. Why? Because I'll drop it, and I'm not dumb, and I know what a car costs. Costs nothing when you drop it from 7 feet. He was doing it, but that's my thing. Is like, if I have an asset, what do I do with it? I asked ChatGPT. He was like, go on Craigslist. People have fancy cars, like old cars, like that they fix up and they don't have a place to store them. You could do that, and I'm like, I don't know, like that feels lame. Like I sort of want to turf it and put a rack or 2 in there and throw medicine balls around with people. I don't know if I want to be a gym, though. Like, do I just want to be my bros? Or all my bros are all 40. Like, they're not doing that. So I don't know. I don't know what to freaking do with this square footage.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
Way to go. I've just asked a question that Tony doesn't even give a crap about. Awesome. I've reached the end of the internet.
Yes, I was
you don't
going to make that quote.
You don't think, Tony, it could be Growth Garage, or it could be Money Warehouse, or it could be something like that?
We could Media Lab. Media Lab 100%. Cameras and mics and lighting, and you just come out there and you shoot for a weekend and you create all your content for the next 6 to 12 months.
So all right, in the effort to build it then, we need Google reviews. I need proof of concept. I'll get you, Dave, you come up, but we got to plan everything out. So I would propose we do it all in public. Like I create a separate playlist on the YouTube channel for every time we meet about it to talk about it. What are we going to get out of it? Who am I going to bring in to help me? Because it's not just a space, right? You need like people who know how to use the tools. And then we show the end result. Like we Mr. Beast it, right? Isn't that what Mr. Beast would do?
Well, yeah. Could you also have it as your multi-purpose place for like the live selling that you're going to test as well? Like, wouldn't it make sense to have it like as a
totally.
Or this would be not in the garage and that would be in your home somewhere or whatever. I'm just like, what would be like a doing something like that where it could be in your home, it could be in this like warehouse thing. Like what type of like
what problem do I have? What could it solve is what you're asking. I've been doing the live selling from my living room, just testing it out. We can get into more of that. I've found some success. I've found some not success. I've been focused on HyperIce. They sent me essentially one of everything they make. And I didn't realize they sent me the HyperIce HyperVolt 3. And I kept looking on Amazon how much it costs. It wasn't out yet. So I started making content like, this isn't out yet, behind the scenes. And that worked pretty well. But we'll talk about like how to do it right, my experience, and how to do it wrong. And I found out how to do it wrong a lot. And I found a few gems of how to frame it right. Why are people on the platform?
Let's wrap it up. Parting shots. I think the big takeaway, all right. Next time I want to talk about that we had gotten on the KPIs, and I saw a clip of you and Larry Benz talking about like basically picking a KPI that produces a negative result. You're trying to do something good. You think you're going to pick it. The example I always give is we used to have percent of arrivals as the KPI. And so my front desk would have a 90% arrival rate that they're expected for. And what it turned into was, hey, you want me to hit 90%? I'm not going to schedule the people that I know who are going to cancel. And our numbers went down. That's not what I wanted, but like that's the result. All right, I'm going to hit a topic. You make it easy to commit fraud against the federal government, you are going to get a lot of fraud against the federal government, right? Like, you don't want the fraud, but that's what happens. So that'll be my parting shot. We'll talk about that too, because I want to go back to that topic of, are you picking the right KPIs, or are you just shooting yourself in the foot because you think you're picking the right KPIs?
Right.
Dave?
Parting shot.
Well, we talked about performance reviews. We talked about like Montessori type schools. We talked about Jimmy's warehouse. I don't know where to go with this. But for me, it's to do for at least my team member on the 90th day or the week of the 90th day. We'll do that again and kind of look back retrospectively. Hey, how have the last 90 days gone? And make sure we're on the same page, and then plan out moving forward. And then basically, continuing to replicate that model, finding more physical therapists like him, because everything is moving pretty smoothly and going, really well on my side.
It is St. Patrick's Day. Salantia, everybody's going to say luck of the Irish today. I want you to understand that none of this is luck. Anything we talked about today, anything we talked about previously, anything we'll talk about in the future, luck is cute, but it's not a real thing. That's what I'll leave you with. Luck ain't real.
Hey, it's Dave Kittle. Are you a healthcare business owner or physical therapy practice owner who is looking to figure out your succession plan or exit strategy? We might be able to help. And in fact, we may be interested in acquiring your practice. If you're interested, you can reach out to me. Shoot me an email at dave@conciergepainrelief.com. That's DAVE@CONCIERGE painrelief.com. Or you can call me at any time, 646-781-8884.